Welcome to episode 8. Is it episode 8, buddy?
It's 8-0. 8-0. Kelly Robinson's 8-0.
It's 8-0, episode 8 of Chip Off the Old Black. How you doing, Cam?
I'm doing good, Dad. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've got a little more pep in my step and energy than I did last week. So yeah, it's been a pretty good week. What's going on for you this week?
Well, before we get to that, I have preparations to make. Hold on a minute.
Oh, uh-oh.
I have preparations. First of all, I'm coming to you once again from the basement. It's pretty much dry.
That's good
I have
news.
not started putting my stuff back in it again because I'm waiting to this weekend to make my kids do it.
But you were just lighting your candle.
Lighting my candle. Echo. Stop. You can edit that out. But you caught me at dinner time, so I had to get myself some provisions.
Gotta get some provisions.
I had to get some provisions. This episode of Chip Off the Old Black is sponsored by Marco's Pizza.
Yeah. Well, I wish it was sponsored. Maybe it'll be sponsored one of these days. But anyway, you like Marco. It's good. I that's what we get when I'm there.
We love Marco's, but sometimes I only get one topping because they charge by the topping. Toppings cost money.
Toppings cost money. Well,
toppings cost money. Anyway, while I'm eating this pizza, a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, if you haven't done it yet, please click that like button, click that subscribe button. If you don't like this video and you don't subscribe to it, it's okay. We understand. You just hate blind people. I'll tell you what, I was so offended and so appalled by something that I said on a previous episode that I've been boycotting the episode up until now, and I finally subscribed.
You finally got over you hurting your own feelings and you subscribed, huh?
I did. I was so offended, and eventually I just decided that it was time I developed a sense of humor and learned to laugh at things, and I stopped my boycott and I subscribed.
Okay, good deal. So now we've got you on board. Yes, I was asking Cameron the other day, hey, this channel's on my account, so I can't subscribe. I think you can subscribe. Have you subscribed? And he said no. I said something the other day that offended and appalled me so bad.
I found something I said very offensive.
But anyway, you succumbed and you went ahead and subscribed. Good for you. Good for you.
I did.
You know what? You know how we feel on this channel. If you get offended or you get your feelings hurt, yeah, that's too bad. We're not trying to offend anybody, but we don't worry about being politically correct on this channel either. So, what'd you get? Looks like you got pepperoni.
No, you would not like this. It has all sorts of UFOs on it.
Yeah.
It is called a chicken Florentine. And it has grilled chicken, it has Roman tomatoes, it has grilled onions, and it has white sauce. It's delicious. You want some?
No thanks. No thanks.
Good. You can't have it.
Okay, between mouthfuls, we're gonna skip right into the first segment, the Dadgummit blowout segment. I had to say Okay, and Cameron, you do have some dadgummit blowout again. The NBA playoffs are going on, baseball's going on, and that's pretty much it. So, what do you got?
Well, we are actually switching gears today, and we are, for once, the Royals have not gotten dadgummit blown out. They've been losing, don't get me wrong, but they have not been losing in a way that is significant enough for me to talk about. So the dadgummit blowout trophy for this week actually goes to my adopted NBA team, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are my adopted NBA team for reasons that we've discussed a little bit, and we'll discuss maybe more on a future episode. But to make a long story short, they are the team that I did play-by-play for in New York. And they just got done sweeping the Philadelphia 76ers in a best-of-7. And in the final game, they beat them 144-114 in a dadgummit blowout.
Dadgummit blowout.
Also, it is worth.
By the way, for us Laker haters, there's a bonus blowout, isn't
I
it?
was just about to get to that. For as a nice bonus, I'm not sure there was a blowout per se, but the Oklahoma City Thunder, where Dad and I are originally from, and I know we have at least one Thunder fan who watches this show religiously, which means we have one fan. That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, he he is an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. The Oklahoma City Thunder also swept LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Broke out the brooms and sent them home crying like little children.
They did. Now, Dad pointed out to me, what are you laughing at?
uh, you slopping down that pizza like a pig. That's kind of funny.
It's delicious.
Well,
I don't
good.
even have a, I'm sure you've noticed, I don't even have a plate. I eat pizza right out the box like a man. That's
Yeah.
how a man eat pizza.
Well, you
How
told us how you eat your macaroni and cheese right out of the pot that you make it in.
right out of the pot. That's how single men eat their dinners.
That's right.
There will be zero dishes after this meal. None.
Your mother says
Um,
he eats gross.
whatever. I eat gross while she's doing dishes.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, Dad did point out, and he's right. Uh, while it brings us endless joy that LeBron got booted out of the playoffs early and got swept, in the interest of fairness, it must be pointed out that somehow Dad told me LeBron himself had a good series. Now, how you have a good series and your team gets swept, I'm not sure, but he did.
Yeah. He averaged over 25 points a game. And that's good. I mean, to put that in perspective for all you watchers out there that want to make the argument that LeBron is the GOAT, Michael Jordan in the multiple playoff series and final series he was in never averaged less than 30 points a game. I think his 31.7 was his career playoff and finals averages. So anyway, but LeBron didn't disappear and go in the tank any game. I guess he just didn't have enough help. I guess his son, if he's still on the team, wasn't enough help for him. So anyway, there was the dadgummit blowout specials of the week.
Do you think when they got swept and him and his son went home and his son got a spanking? No, Daddy,
No,
no!
daddy, no. He probably did. His dad was probably like, "You suck. I'm going to ask them to trade you. Get somebody that can play." Okay, moving right along. As Cameron slops down his pizza, we'll move into the Cyclops segment. Do you have a First of all, let's explain for those that are joining us for the first time, and shame on you if it's the first time. We've got a whole list of videos down below. Watch them all. But
Poor
why don't you
thing.
explain, Cameron, what the Cyclops segment is and why we call it that, very briefly?
So the Cyclops segment is stories from my life from the last 37 years, of stories that funny things or even emotional things that have happened to me because of my vision loss, because of my blindness. Most of them are funny. So I like to share at least one a week, and Dad usually shares one a week. I've got a good one today.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so my mother, along with several other people that I know, are in the field of education, so they are not going to appreciate this story. Um, it is it is a tradition that when you have a substitute teacher, you are supposed to pull pranks on them, and I never really did. I was a pretty good kid in school. I wasn't good academically, but I was good
No,
behavior wise. What?
you were not good academically.
No, I was not good academically at all. But I didn't act up in school. I didn't misbehave. Uh, I was just dumb. Uh, so one time in the seventh grade, though, I pulled what I believe was my only prank I ever pulled on a substitute teacher. It was computer class, and it was back when computer class was mandatory. And of course, the computers back then were not accessible. So it was basically a study hall for me. I didn't do the computer work that the other kids did. I just went in there and did homework from other classes. And the teacher was fine with that. Well, one day we had a sub, and she didn't know that, and she didn't know I was blind. She didn't know any of these things. So I went and sat down at a computer and I pressed my face up really close to the computer, and the substitute comes by, and she goes, "You shouldn't sit that close. You're going to ruin your eyes." And I went over to my buddy and I asked if I could borrow his pencil. And then I went up to her desk and I started jabbing it into my prosthetic eye. And I said, "You're right. Look what it did."
You you are you want to hear something you're not going to believe? You are not going to believe this. Before I came in here and set up for the episode, I asked your mother. I said, I've got to come up with a Cyclops story. I mean, for me, there's no lack of them. There's probably just so many of them, and I've forgotten more than I remember. And she said, "Well, there is this one, but you weren't there, so I don't know if you can use it." And that is the one that she used, the exact one that you just did.
We never saw that sub again. Some subs you get to know them because they sub a lot. We never saw that sub ever again.
Yeah,
She's
I think
probably in therapy.
that probably traumatized her. Yeah, she had to go into therapy for a while. Yeah, my Cyclops memory is a real short one. Uh, but the three of us, you, me, and your mother, were out at dinner one evening. I can't remember where or when. Uh, and you and I were talking, and she got up to go to the restroom. And you and I talked for a couple of minutes, and then you turned and faced her chair, and you had this entire conversation with her. And I didn't have the heart. And finally, after 3 or 4 minutes of you conversing with her and her not responding, I said, "Cameron, she got up and went to the restroom a few minutes ago." And you just shook your head and you said, "I get so tired of talking to empty chairs." Do you remember
Tell you
that?
what, oh yeah, and that hasn't stopped either. That happened a week ago. Uh, I go into my supervisor's office all the time and start a conversation with him.
Oh
And
no.
I've gotten better. I've gotten better about it. Usually I'll walk in and say his name, say, "Hey, are you home? Are you in here?" And he'll answer. Or sometimes he'll be a jerk and he just won't even say anything. He'll just sit there. Um, but one time I really needed to say something to him and I forgot. This is just last week. And I just went into his office and I just started rattling off and talking to him. And one of my coworkers came by and said, he's not in there.
He's not he's not in there. You should have said, "I know that. I'm just rehearsing. I knew he wasn't in there.
I'm just practicing my lines for
I'm
when
just
he is in here."
practicing my lines." Okay. Moving right along, although there's no college football going on right now, there is something kind of significant that happened this week. You and I are going to talk about it, about the pros and the cons. And, for the viewers that think we use a script, we don't, but I do use notes. I do have some notes. There's quite a few notes about this. Anyway, just recently, the American Football Coaches Association, Cameron, I'm not interrupting your pizza eating, am I?
No, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
The
Me
American
eating
Football
pizza.
Coaches Association has come out and endorsed expanding the college football playoff from 12 teams to 24 teams. They want to they want to they want to allow more teams to get in it. Now, keep in mind, everybody, this is the American Football Coaches Association. They have no decision-making power. They do have some stroke, but they don't have any decision-making power. But they are having their opinion on this weighed. Keep in mind, every one of these people are college football coaches, in most cases, whose contracts have big incentives for making it to the college football playoff. So naturally, it'd be a shocker if, in fact, I'm surprised it's only 24 teams. I'm surprised they didn't just say, "Hey, I think we ought to let all the teams in." But anyway, the current 12 team format is in place through at least the 26 and 27 season. I was curious, okay, they're relaying this information to the CFP committee. Who is the committee and why do we have a committee? So I got a note of who the committee members are. I've maintained for quite a long time that if they're going to make any changes to college football, the college football landscape and the playoff, That's okay. The first change they need to make is get rid of the committee. Because the committee is made up of people that, regardless of what they say, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have any skin in the game. I can be completely objective. BS. They all have agendas. They're people. They all
Did
have
you like
agendas.
Did you like the BCS era better?
Yes, I like the BCS era a lot better. And I would probably be in the minority because the media just blasted the BCS polling for years. Reason being, it put a lot less emphasis on their opinions. The computer didn't care what their opinion was. They didn't care what Kirk Herbstreit thought or Reese Davis or anybody at the ESPN or anybody with Fox. The computer rated teams as objectively as possible. The computer doesn't have an agenda. Here is the current Here are the current committee members that have no agenda, of course. They're completely neutral. The chairman, Hunter Urachek, athletic director, University of Arkansas. Athletic directors, Troy Dannon, athletic director, University of Nebraska. Mark Harlan, athletic director, University of Utah. Chris Massaro, athletic director, Middle Tennessee State. I'm not, not worried about him. He's got to go a long way to get his team in there.
I
Carla
was going to
Williams,
say,
athletic director, University of Virginia. Brian Maggard, athletic director, University of Louisiana. And then here's some more. Former coaches, Mark D'Antonio, former head coach, Michigan State and Cincinnati. Mike Riley, former head coach, Oregon State and Nebraska. Gus Malzahn, former head coach, Auburn, UCF, and Arkansas State. Jeff Tedford, former head coach, Cal and Fresno State. And then there's two other members, Wesley Walls, former tight end for Ole Miss and the San Francisco 49ers. Ivan Maisel, former sports writer, ESPN and Sports Illustrated and On3. They're supposedly impartial. No, if I was on there, no committee made up of people is going to be impartial. They all have their own agendas and what they want to do. But currently, they are the ones that are in charge after the 26-27 season. So after next year, after this coming season, it'll go out for discussion again. Hey, should we stick with the current format? What should we do? And the AFCA is saying, hey, we want to weigh in on this. We need to raise it. Not only do we need to raise it from 12 to 24 teams, Cameron, we need to do a couple other things. Number one, we need to get rid of conference championship games. That I'm good with. We need to get rid of conference championship games, and we need to condense the season. Last year, if you recall, Cameron, the playoff ended at the end of January, I believe. I mean, the season ran to the end of January. I think after the regular season, even after championship weekend was over, there was like a 2 or 3 week hiatus. And the AFCA is saying, hey, we propose you get rid of that. We get rid of championship games and we start the season a weekend earlier. So what you and I now know is week 0, that usually just has a handful of games, would be week 1, a full schedule. Some of those things sound good. Some of those things have a problem. A big problem with shuffling the season around like that is the Army-Navy game. And that's an important game. That's for us as Americans,
sure.
that should be the game of the year. And they have always garnered, and I don't know if you even know this, Cameron, but they have always garnered their own. They play on a Saturday when nobody else plays. They've garnered their own day to play. And
I did know that.
That causes an issue. I heard Teddy Lehman mention, I thought it was a great idea. Teddy Lehman mentioned Labor Day, whenever Labor Day week, of course, I'm sorry, Veterans Day, not Labor Day, Veterans Day. Let's just have one game. They have the whole day. Move them to Veterans Day. I think that anything, one of the great things about the Army-Navy game is it culminates their season for both teams. So to move it earlier in the season wouldn't be good. So far, here's what the AFCA has proposed: expand the CFP field from 12 to 24. eliminate conference championship games. Top 8 seeds receive first round buys. Seeds 9 through 24 play on campus sites. I loved the campus site thing last year, although OU managed to lose on their own campus. In the CFP earlier in January, currently runs through late January, start the regular season 1 week earlier. All the things I mentioned. Who supports it? The Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC. The Jim Phillips from the ACC commissioner said, when you're leaving national championship contending teams out of the playoff, do you have the right number? I totally disagree with that. I totally disagree. He's referring to Notre Dame, no doubt, from last year. Who is blocking it? This will be no surprise to anybody. The SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey. Naturally, the SEC, they don't like it. He
The
prefers
SEC's
the
like,
16
hell
team
no.
format. What's that?
The SEC's like, hell no.
Hell no, we ain't doing that. And it's kind of funny. The SEC has not won the national title in the last 2 years. In fact, who played against Indiana? I can't remember who played against Indiana last year in the finals.
Michigan?
No, I think it was Miami. It was.
Oh yeah, yes, it was.
Ironically, Miami, the team that all the media said should have been left out so Notre Dame can get put in, Miami made it to the finals. An SEC team didn't even make it to the finals. And the prior year, Ohio State. So the last 2 years, the Big Ten representative has won the championship. But the SEC still trying to throw their weight around. He definitely is against the removal of the championship game, the SEC championship game, because of the money. Let's get down to it. This is all about the money. It's all about the money. So hearing all that, Cameron, if you're through, and I'll get one more little note here before you have to talk. So you've got room to eat. You got time to eat that last piece of pizza. Okay. If they would have done this last year, this would have been the playoff field. Okay. Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami of Florida, Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah, USC, Arizona, Michigan, Virginia, Tulane, Houston, Georgia Tech, Iowa, and James Madison. And if you recall, James Madison and Tulane got in because the committee set that rule where they had to kind of throw them a bone. So they both got in
and they got killed.
wiped out. I mean,
they had no business.
They had no business being in. Here's another interesting thing. That was the final top 24 CFP rankings last year. So if this would have been in place, that's the teams that would have played. Let me count here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those 24 teams, Cameron, had 3 losses. You know what? If you got 3 losses, just go home. I mean, if you got 3 losses, I don't care what conference you play in. If you got 3 losses, you haven't earned the right to be in there. So what is the positive of a 24-team playoff? And I'm trying to see the positives because I'm vehemently against it. I guess more good games. I heard Gabe Eichert say the same thing, and I would agree. More games involving good teams is hard to ever complain about.
You and me will have a lot of games to watch over Christmas.
What's that?
You and me will have a lot of games to watch over Christmas. I guess
we'll have more games to watch over Christmas. That's true. When you talk about, more games with good teams, again, the James Madison and Tulane games at the end of the year last year, and they were playoff games. They weren't good. They weren't competitive. So I feel like I have a hard time seeing if you take out the money, which of course they can't do. That's what it's all about. But if you take out the money, I just don't see the positive. I think it just waters down the regular season. I mean, one of the things that makes college football the greatest sport in the country, or has, is because every loss matters. Unlike the NFL. The NFL, you can go 8-8 and get in the playoffs. Matter of fact, I think you can go 7-9. I think a 7-9 team got in a year or two ago. But in college, you lose one game, Okay, there goes your cushion. You can lose one game and get in. You lose a second game, maybe. You lose a third game, you're done. And you would have been done last year with those rankings I just read. There were no 3-loss teams that made the playoff last year. The list I just read you, 7 of them would have made it if this was going on last year. So, okay, I see you finished chewing. What are your thoughts?
I did. I've eaten 5 pieces of pizza during this episode. Um, um, I don't really hear anything about it that I like. And I feel like I'm just going to kind of piggyback off what you said, but that's because it's it's what I was thinking the whole time you were talking, which is just that, when I got into college football, that was like the big selling point from you to me was how competitive college football is and how you really can't lose a game. Like if you lose one game, your season is on the edge. And if you lose 2 games, that's it. You're done. You better hope for the Cheez It Bowl or the GoDaddy.com Bowl. Uh, and now that's just not the case anymore. So I agree with you. I feel like it's turning it from the most competitive of all the major sports, really, and it's watering it down. It's not watering it down to the extent of the NFL football, and of course not NBA basketball or Major League Baseball, but it is watering it down. And I don't know, it almost feels like they're trying to turn it into March Madness with college football, December Madness, which does not have a good ring to it. So
Yes.
I'm not a fan. I'm not even sure I was wild about the 12 teams.
No,
I'm not even sure I was really wild about that. It's okay, I guess.
I wasn't.
Um,
I said that last year. Somebody said, "Well, if it wasn't 12 teams, Oklahoma wouldn't have got in." Well, whatever. If they didn't get in, it's because they didn't deserve to get in.
that's absolutely. So no, I wasn't really too wild about the 12 teams. I'm not wild about this at all. For all the reasons you said, and I just kind of piggybacked off it, but it's true. Those are the issues that I have with it. I will say this though, the point I was going to make about the committee. I know you don't like the committee, and I don't blame you, and all your points are valid. But most of the guys you listed off can't be that biased because their schools are never going to get to the playoffs anyway. Their schools suck. The
Well,
Arkansas
but
athletic director, the Middle Tennessee athletic director.
there were some that could, and even
Yeah, for
even
sure.
if their school doesn't have a chance, Middle Tennessee, and I
Yeah,
don't even know the guy or gal, whoever it is, obviously, even if they even if they aren't pushing an agenda for their school because there's no hope, there's schools that they hate. And college football is a very passionate fan base sport. It's not one of those sports where I kind of like them. Okay, you love them or you hate them, and that's just it's a very polarizing deal. So there's there's going to be agendas. Having a committee is ridiculous. When they last year, and I'll just mention this one other time quickly, it was a huge, huge point of contention that Notre Dame got left out and Miami got the last slot. Yet Notre Dame had one more loss. And no, I'm sorry, they didn't have one more loss. They lost to Miami head to head. But well, yeah, but this, but that, and they were just trying to make excuses for Notre Dame because Notre Dame has one of the largest fan bases in the country. So anyway, enough. That's not meant to be a Notre Dame bashing thing. I mean, I don't like them, but uh, I don't like them typically because they get unfair advantages that others don't. So yeah, I heard I heard Teddy Lehman refer to it as he said it's kind of reminding me a little bit of my kids' little league, where everybody gets a trophy. That's almost what it's turning into, and it won't stop at 24 teams. If it gets to that, it won't stop at that. Uh, before we know it, we'll look up and it'll be, you're right, March Madness, but it'll be December or January Madness. And
yeah, it'll be
uh,
just like
I
that.
I can't see the positives of it. Uh, I wish they'd flesh that idea, stick, because you're right. in my opinion, they've got too many teams already.
You know, as much as I love Major League Baseball, and I love baseball, but they expanded the MLB playoffs a couple of years ago to include 15 teams. There are 30 teams in the league. So half the league gets to the playoffs. So you must really suck and be the Kansas City Royals to not make the playoffs.
That's right. You mentioned NFL. I will say one thing because I've been thinking about this a little bit. Here's a huge difference between the NFL and NCAA football. In the NFL, every player on every team is the cream of the crop, right? They're all professional football players. And I realize college players are for the most part too, yeah. But these guys all have roster spots on very few teams. They're all good, meaning a 8-8 team can get in the playoffs and they have the talent to beat anybody in the playoffs. Anybody, an 8-8 team can beat a 12-4 team. All they have to do is have a good game, and the other team have a little bit of a bad game. There's so much parity in the NFL because all the talent is so close. In college, that's not the case. In college, if you've got an 85-man roster, 100-man roster, you may have 3 guys out of that 100 guys that make it to the NFL. Maybe 2 or 3 guys, maybe none. But we saw last year, again, I'm not picking on James Madison and Tulane, but they had no chance. They had no chance. So there's no need in putting more and more teams in that have no chance. If this season we look if
You even got a name tag. You got no chance.
You got no chance. You don't even have a name tag. You have no chance. Yeah, I mean, next year if they put this in and our Sooners were number 24, and I'm glad they got in. Why would we be glad they got? They're just going to get waxed if they're number 24. So, yeah, I'm not great with it. We are anxious for anybody to put any comments, agree comments, disagree comments, whatever. When you click that like and subscribe button down, and remember, if we've offended you, Cameron got over it. He got over offending himself. So anybody,
I was very appalled by me, but I got through it and ordered a pizza, and I subscribed, and now I'm fine.
Please like and subscribe. I apologize to the viewers that most of the talking in this segment has been me. There's been a couple reasons for that. Number one, Cameron has been eating pizza. We don't want him to talk with his mouth full. That's rude. And number two, he follows football a lot during the season. He doesn't follow it that much, and most people don't follow it that much in the off season. But so I had been researching this and heard about this decision. That's why I did most of the talking. Okay, moving on to the last segment, Cameron.
Well, I had an additional sports related segment, but it won't take long.
Okay, go ahead. Perfect.
Okay, so for those of you that can't see it, currently I am wearing a Royals jersey, and it is several years old. It is the Royals have all baseball teams have about 12 or 13 different uniforms, and I am currently wearing what's called a City Connect jersey, and it is the 2018 City Connect jersey, and it's really cool. I really like it a lot. Well, they recently came out with, and not just the Royals, all of Major League Baseball recently came out with new City Connect jerseys. I think City Connect is the brand. And I, for one, don't like the Royals jersey. And I know all you're thinking, you can't even see the Royals jersey. That's valid. That's a good point. But I have had it described to me, and I am not a fan. So I would love to hear what anybody else thinks. I will say one of our constant viewers, or and put another way, our constant viewer, Big Al, it was said that his Atlanta Braves had some of the coolest new City Connect uniforms in Major League Baseball. So if you're watching this and you're a baseball fan, and I know we've got at least a couple of them, I know we have some Cards fan. I know we have a Cards fan. I know we have a Braves fan. I know we've got some other Royals fans. So if you're watching this and you're a baseball fan and you would like to let me know what you think of your team's new City Connect jerseys or the Royals' new City Connect jerseys, because I don't really like them, or any other team's City Connect jerseys, feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments there. And I'd love to see what others have to say.
Leave it in the comments when they go down there to do what?
When they go down there to ask us a question on the "We Don't Want to Talk About It" segment, where we will answer 3 questions, no more. And that's good because we didn't get any this week.
We got no more. We don't want to talk about it. We don't have a
We got
question.
no
Got some
more, so we're
comments.
not going to talk about it.
Got some comments. Ironically, I've had some comments about people requesting guest star appearances. So we may have to make that happen, but we didn't get any questions. So, and we don't want to talk about it. But when they go
That's
down
right.
there, with regard to your jersey question, when they go down there to like and subscribe, unless they don't like blind people, when they go down there to like and subscribe, drop those comments about your Major League Baseball team's alternate uniforms. I can't believe they've got 13 alternate. Who do they think they are? The Oregon Ducks? I mean, my gosh.
I was exaggerating a little bit. They don't have that many, but I mean they have a lot. They have road uniforms, they have home uniforms, and I know the Royals have powder blue and royal blue and the City Connects. So they have several.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, drop some answers to his questions down there in the comments or any questions you've got for us. Like and subscribe. Buddy, I think your mother's waiting dinner on me. You got anything else?
No, I'm gonna go finish the rest of my pizza. I almost wiped out a whole pizza during this episode.
Finish the rest of your pizza. Okay, bud. We will join you next week. And oh, one last note. Watch the prior episodes. We got some fun stuff in there, some good stuff in there. Cameron again is wearing his meta glasses. We'll have links in the description to where you can check those out. If you want to know more about what they've done for Cameron, watch last week's episode. That was pretty much solely the focus of that episode. Okay, buddy.
Oh,
I'll let you go finish your pizza. We'll talk to you later.
okay, Dad. See you later.
See ya. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.